Hello and welcome to the Data Break Podcast, episode 45 for the week of January 18th, 2016. I'm your host, James Lean. With me today, we have Ravnestorm and Max.
Hello there.
And Max Lee.
Hello.
Taylor will not be joining us this week. He's a little busy, but that's okay because we have plenty to talk about this week. Max, you spent the weekend in San Jose, California, attending an event. What was that?
That was Genesis 3, one of the super national majors for Super Smash Bros. And for Smash 64, Smash 4, and Melee.
What about Brawl, though?
Brawl? Since Smash 4...
No love, deeply.
Yeah, since Smash 4 became... since Smash 4 was released, Brawl... has been pretty much dead. No, since Project M came out, Brawl has been pretty much dead. No one really plays Brawl anymore.
That's understandable.
Sloppy. I mean, it was sloppy. That was the only reason.
Tripping, man, tripping.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's sloppy. It was intentionally made to be slow and with literal tripping. It was made to not be fun at a competitive level. But Smash 4 tries to go for the middle ground of both casual and competitive, and obviously it works. It has a lot of players.
That's good to hear, actually, because
Smashing.
It's like there's one thing to be said about how amazingly tight Melee is, like how incredibly fast and well paced that game is. But I mean, like, let's be real here. Those polygons are starting to get old. Like, it's. You know, you can only look at those polygons for so long. They look kind of they're definitely outdated. And that's part of the charm, of course. But whenever I see Smash 4 gameplay, it looks so shiny and brand new. It feels great. I did notice while watching the VODs for Smash 4 at Genesis 3, was like it was like significantly slower paced than Melee. I didn't know how to feel about that. To be honest, but I have very little experience with Smash in general, other than my casual gameplay with my siblings and friends and all that. Anyways, so how was that?
The event as a whole, or
yeah. Just tell us like what you were basically doing the entire time, because I know you were sent there to compete, like you said last week. So
I mean, like, I only signed up for competitors so that, you know, but yeah, I could have just signed up for spectator, but it was amazing. It was brilliant. I mean, okay, okay, the first day, Friday, that was pools. That's where, you know, everyone except the top 100 have to play before they get into brackets. I lost pretty much immediately within like 10 minutes, so I was out of the competition.
Did you get 3 stocked or whatever, 4 stocked?
No, I wasn't that bad. But,
okay, did you knock a couple? Did you win any matches, any games, or?
I didn't win any matches. Because let's see, most people who sign up for the competitive level, they've already trained. I trained very little and need to learn a lot more technical skills. So I was just there for the fun, not really to compete. So I was out of there. On Saturday, played some friendly. Both Friday, Saturday played some friendly games, and on Saturday I watched a lot of the top 64 matches for both Melee and Smash 4, which were amazing. Both doubles and singles, doubles as in 2 versus 2, and singles 1 versus 1, had a lot of upsets. People who normally wouldn't win have been playing out of their minds, destroying everyone, and not to mention there were a lot of new faces from other countries as well. And then Saturday, woke up at 6 a.m. to get in line early to get the best seats for the top 8 of all 3 games that were there.
Wow, you had to get up early just to get good seats?
Well, I mean, we didn't have to, and there was more than enough room for most of the viewers, but I wanted the best seats that were not priority seating, and I did get them. And it didn't end. Let's see. The top 8 for all 3 games started at like 11 a.m. and ended at 11 p.m. So I was in there for 12 hours, and it was getting a bit tiresome some of the way through. But it was incredibly hype. I mean, can you hear my damaged voice?
Yeah, it's pretty apparent that your voice is it's post concert voice, I call it. That's similar to what I would get after after a particularly
In
rowdy
awe
concert
of the event.
Yelling and chanting during all the hype moments, cheering for
Fox,
your favorite player.
Fox, Fox,
A lot
Fox.
of
Yes. Hold on.
Well, huh? Wait, what? But yeah, so I was incredibly hype, and I am still exhausted even after a long sleep.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine how like crazily hyped these events like this were. I was really tempted to go to IEM San Jose. I went to I really wanted to go to the CS:GO tournament, but like I mean my schedule wasn't very good for that. So, but I can only imagine the hype that was at Smash tournaments because what's a thing that makes like Smash really like a really good esport, to use the term, is how easy it is to watch. It's a really easy to watch game, and like who hasn't played Super Smash Brothers, in their younger days? So it's very easy to understand the game. So I can only imagine how easy it is to get hyped for that, because it's easy to see raw skill displayed in Smash, in a fighting game, especially with one as fluid as Melee is, as opposed to like even Counter-Strike, where like someone's just like walking around, sneaking around, and a lot of the the technical stuff is going on within the communication of the team and in their heads, as opposed to just running around and doing the actual shooting.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine how ridiculously hyped all the audience was to watch the biggest Smash players duke it out.
Even Smash 4 though, although the technical ceiling is much lower than Melee, that was incredibly hype. People were people were playing out of their minds with the mind games and simply trying to push the limits that Smash 4 can offer.
Do you think that Smash 4 is like as entertaining to watch as Melee? Well, I guess that's probably not the right question to ask, because I know you'd probably pick Melee, but how does it lend itself to watching it? Because I saw it.
Yeah,
I'd
like to know also. I mean, like I used to play Melee in the back room of the newspaper at Rio.
At our high school,
get my ass kicked all the time. And I gotta say, like, it seemed like it was an extremely high skill cap because the game was extremely fast. I could do very well as a casual, someone playing Brawl, but it didn't seem like he could be as good. And I don't know about Smash 4. I've never played it. I don't have a Wii U. Is it as tight as Melee used to be, or as Project M?
Well, I feel that the comparison cannot really be made, because Project M and Melee, much of the speed, much of the skill goes into the technical things like combos or just combinations of button presses that allow you to basically do glitches that are considered moves in the competitive scene, while Smash 4 basically reduces it all to a fundamental level in which how we would have seen Smash when we were little kids. You press this button to do this attack, this button to do this attack. If you want to dodge, just dodge or jump instead of doing wave dashes or other highly technical skills.
Right.
So it would be easier to follow, but because of that, I would say in a way, although the speed isn't there, a lot of the skill can be seen because everyone is reduced to it's hard. More
basic moves, basically.
Yes, and so they would have to try to outplay their opponents in the mind instead of just with the fingers.
Because I'm very much a novice in terms of like professional Smash, but and I mean I don't even play any like competitive Smash at all, but I'm familiar with some of the terms of like wave dashing and all that, and like one of the things that a lot of people overlook when watching Pro Smash as a casual viewer is what exactly they're doing, because like when you watch the pros play, you see like, yeah, they're moving really fast and they're moving a lot and they're never really standing still. But like even something as basic as like running across the stage is like done like is done with a lot of things in mind, right? Because like they kind of, you could wave dash. You have to like, people like to wave dash across the stage or whatever. Give themselves the most options while they move across, because they don't want to get stopped, right?
Well, depends. Wave dash. If they're wave dashing across the stage, they're planning to do attack that can normally be done only when standing still. They would still run, but yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
So, Smash wasn't the only thing at the event, apparently, which I was actually surprised to hear when you told me.
Yeah, I was surprised as well. There was a station that had demos for the HTC Vive, the Steam's official VR.
Are you a believer, Max?
So at first,
so much a believer.
So at first, like I didn't.
Nice.
At first, I wasn't like first I was surprised. I'm like, this is a Smash event. What is the HTC Vive doing here? But then I realized that HTC is one of the sponsors for this, right? For this event.
I believe so.
And so they had like official HTC representatives over there demoing the Vive.
Like two, but after they finished setting it up, just one. But and only one demo available. But
so what was the demo that you played?
It was actually.
They could totally afford more, by the way. I think they just did that to make more people wait in line.
I mean, actually, not that many people really waited in line because
line waiting lobbyists.
Well, there wasn't actually that much room because the majority of the floor that was given to Smash was given to Smash. They only had a corner of the room. But,
so no one was really even paying attention to the Vive. They're just so excited about the Smash that they even bothered to like worry about VR.
Yeah, most people who were paying attention were, people who were fanatics of video games in general.
Interesting.
Although for the appointments, because they had the book instead of waiting in line, it was pretty much filled. I was waiting while they were setting it up, so I got second in, but everything was booked for Friday and Saturday and like Sunday. But okay, so to answer your question, demo. It was technically a set of 4 demos. The first being underwater on a sunken ship, watching fishes and a giant blue whale. Second was that one. Second is basically a shooting gallery with zombies chasing at me. Third was the 3D painting demo that I believe either Taylor or Ravnestorm tried out, or at least saw.
Yes.
And fourth, I can't remember the fourth one. It was a Portal demo.
Oh, that's interesting. And if I recall, that Portal demo is running on the Source 2 engine.
Yes.
How did that look?
Well, better than any existing Source game. It was definitely HD. In fact, it almost looked pretty much pre-rendered.
Wow.
At the same time, the Vive, the screen is not the highest quality. It feels like I'm looking through a filter. So I don't know.
What we're referring to is the screen door effect that a lot of people talk about.
Because the screen, the goggles are not the highest. The screen is not the highest quality. So I can't say if the Source 2 engine looks as good as it felt. And also,
talk about the feel.
How does it feel?
The feel.
It feels natural. It feels like I move my head in real life, moves 1-to-1 with no noticeable latency inside the demo. I move my controller to my hands, and it's moving inside the game like it's actually there.
So the tracking's really good.
The
Right.
tracking is phenomenal.
Did you experience any like motion sickness at all? Because I know a lot of people will get VR sickness. It's not quite the same because some people will get motion sickness and not get VR sickness, and other people will not get motion sickness and then they'll get VR sickness. Did that happen to you at all?
I did not get sickness. I might have felt awkward. It felt jarring when I had to pick up my controls from the ground when I couldn't see my own hands while I could. So, but once I picked up the controller, all the awkwardness went away. It just felt natural. No sickness at all.
And how does it accommodate glasses? Because I know that's a problem for a lot of VR enthusiasts.
For me, I had to put my glasses in the goggles first, and then put the set on.
Okay,
But,
and that was okay?
Yeah, that was fine. It felt a bit tight at first, but apparently the VR set feels tight for pretty much everyone. Mostly to keep it still in place and not fall off.
Okay.
Yeah, it felt fine. It felt fine after a few minutes. I didn't notice. I was too busy being immersed, literally immersed, to care about the discomfort.
Interesting. Now we have 3 people with I think 3 different experiences with 3 different VR headsets, right? Because Ravenstorm, which one did you demo? Did you demo the PlayStation one or the Oculus?
Bro.
Oculus. And then I think Taylor demoed the PlayStation VR,
Yeah,
right?
And I tried Vive.
And so you're on the Vive.
It took them a while to set up the Vive because they needed basically a giant, cardboardish, not box, but basically 2 cardboard walls at a 90-degree angle in the corner of the giant room. And they had to put up sensors because the Vive requires outside sensors as opposed to the others in which everything is inside the goggles.
Yeah.
Honestly, sorry.
Oh well, I have just one more quick question. It was which version of the Vive were you testing? Did your controllers have like little circles on them, like little like hollow?
The little circle touchpads, or are you talking about the actual hollow part?
Yeah, like the wands. Did they have like a plastic hollow thing, like a little hole in the thing? It's like it's basically like a donut.
Do you know what that's about? The hollow.
Yeah, I do. So wow, so that means that and the Vive had a camera in the front, right? Like a camera.
Yeah, but the guy who was setting it up said that they're unable to use all of the equipment, all the sensor equipment, due to how everything has to be set up. So we can't get the camera stuff done.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
He did say that if they were able to get a camera set up, it would be just flipping a switch to turn on the camera, and it would be basically looking at real life through goggles.
Yeah, that's what I've been told as well. That's what I've heard.
He did say it was the latest pre-production version that was released. Yeah,
you were testing out that's interesting that they would bring it out so fast. Well, I guess not unexpected, but you were testing on the Vive Pre, which is the one that was you're basically testing the latest in VR. And be happy, like be proud of that, I guess.
It was such an experience.
So like that's the model that they announced over at CES literally just a week ago. So yay for you. But the little wands, and like they have holes in them now.
Yeah.
Right? Little plastic holes in them. And the reason for that is I think it's called occlusion, because people were having tracking issues if they overlapped the wands because the signal would get blocked by the other wand.
Yeah.
And so the little holes between underneath them, they fixed that.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Can I say a little bit more about?
Oh well, no, yeah. That was my question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Let's see. First, I skipped the underwater demo due to my phobia of how things look underwater. But and because the guy who did it before me said, yeah, and this is why I don't like water, because it looks like that he was actually, from his perspective, it looked like he was actually underwater, and he said how the whale really felt like it was there, as if there was a huge scale, even though it was all virtual. And from my experience, although I started with zombie game, but the zombie game, the graphics were, and like it's modern. It's this year or last year, but it's not the best graphics I've seen yet, due to the fact that everything was naturally 3D, nothing popping out. It felt more real. Like when I saw a zombie chase, like running at me when I was trying to grab my gun, I audibly yelped and jumped because it felt like there was something actually running at me instead of just running at the screen.
Huh. So was that
The
terrifying?
entire reason I want money.
Yeah, it's going to be expensive. They said
I want to immerse myself in the hallucination machine, please.
I was reading a webcomic about, like, it was like a cyberpunk webcomic, and then I think that the topic of VR basically came up, and like someone asked one of the characters, like, why did you start getting into VR? And the guy's like, well, and then it's like a montage of this guy like with his sketchy buddy, and they're like surrounded by a ton of like drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they have all these VR headsets, and they're like, think of it, man, the ultimate trip.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, come on.
It is the ultimate trip, right?
Come on.
It's gotta be.
We can construct a world. We can construct worlds. Like, we can fool ourselves that much better. It's incredible.
Right. Like if you were in a VR demo and like you were on a cliff, you wouldn't want to take that next step.
Yeah.
You'd be very hesitant to do so.
Even though, yeah, and that reminds me, during the Portal demo, the floor, part of the floor gave away, and even though I knew that it was all fake, and if I walked forward, it would still be, the ground. Part of me just still reacted as if I'm actually looking over the edge to a bottomless pit.
That's pretty awesome.
Hell yeah.
Oh gosh. Crap. I'm losing my words.
Taken aback.
Before I tried, I thought that I would have some sort of experience like, oh wow, this is 3D. These things pop out at me, like the 3D TVs, 3DS, or 3D movies. But that's not it. It just feels like I'm actually looking with my own eyes into a real world with normal stereoscopic vision, and I didn't expect it to feel so natural.
That's very impressive. This just makes me more excited, and at the same time very disappointed at the fact that I probably won't be able to afford VR in the next 2 years, the next couple of years, until it becomes more mainstream. But that's okay. I'm excited to even try it, because apparently everyone else has at this point.
Hopefully, if you go to some huge events that has anything to do with technology, there will be a demo for one of the VR.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. It'll definitely become very, very common at events.
We should all start a VR parlor.
A VR parlor.
Just like have come in, and you make an appointment. You sit down for a couple hours, and we have VR experiences. Yes.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I think there's some licensing issues with that, though. I feel like to charge people it's like charging people. It's like an arcade, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or a movie. It's a movie theater, basically.
Yeah.
But it's in a cooler environment.
A VR bar, a V bar.
Sort of VR lounge.
That's one on the tally, by the way.
Okay. That's one.
We're up to 2 so far.
Wait, are we?
Yes.
What was first?
I don't recall.
I don't remember hearing another pun.
We'll find it. You'll listen for it.
I'll just scratch another one into the tally then. That too.
Yeah. Better be safe than sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I really do wonder if the companies will allow to make something sort of like a VR lounge or a VR arcade, because virtual reality setups have existed in old arcades, right? I mean, they were
Mm-hmm.
primitive compared to now, but they did exist.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if that could make some sort of tiny comeback in a way.
Well, the issue is that they're consumer products, so it's like
It's like having IPS monitors or 144 hertz monitors instead of having 60 hertz or 30
well,
hertz.
Yeah,
well
but I mean,
I would
like, at this-
no,
No,
go ahead.
James.
Okay,
No,
well,
you
like
go ahead first.
I would like liken it to if you were to start a VR bar, a V bar, or a VRcade, it would a VRcade. It would be like
Vive.
it'd be like it'd be like putting an iPad, like having a ton of iPads on like some tables, right? And
That's
then
what the Apple Store is.
loading, and then but then you have to charge people to use it and try out apps, right? There's some licensing issues there.
Okay,
so,
well,
but
James,
you know, that could be
but
solved.
here's the thing.
What if it's
why
my
I feel
app?
like I feel why
Then
I
that's
feel
fine,
that
I
it
think.
can be justified to an extent. Excluding the PlayStation VR, the rest are not possible for the vast majority of the population because we need really powerful computers to run VR. And so even if people had the money to buy a goggle, they would still need the money and, well, dedication to have a capable PC that can run the goggles.
Let us say that we were to fall into the Databreak podcast crew were to fall into a sum of $40,000, and we could buy we should buy like a battery of PCs that could run Oculus or
Sure,
whatever.
that we could probably like do 20, if not
all
more.
the newest like hardware,
Yeah.
and then we
Yeah.
could just have a very selective clientele, people who will charge lots of money to get in on the latest shit right away.
Oh.
And then just like have it be like a luxurious environment for you to go and experience the latest tech, just because you have a reservation.
I've got to wonder. I mean, like at this point, you got to wonder. It's like there's a certain amount of early adopters that are willing to pay like at first for it, right? And you got to wonder how many people are willing to pay less.
I want to
to
be like a
experience
mass drop the person,
Mass drop
the business,
mass drop the business. Yeah,
the store.
yeah,
The
that'd be
lounge.
cool. That'd be cool. I'd be very interested in doing that.
It would be a good way for people to try out the VR when they're not at a convention or such. Because I was not expecting to see this at Smash, but I was pleasantly surprised.
And actually, I think I mean, if like in this hypothetical business venture, you'd probably even start getting. You probably wouldn't even have to start paying for equipment after a while because the companies would just see as
Everyone
good
will just send it
good
to
like
you.
marketing. Yeah, that'd be
So
cool.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's like I was watching this program called Chef's Kitchen on Netflix, and I just watched this episode. It's about this Italian guy who, he reinterprets classic Modenese cuisine in a certain modern way, and I think that's bullshit. And he's just throwing together ingredients, let the recipes those people have been cooking for years, and then just making them small and fancy, and then selling them for a huge markup. I mean, if a nice environment to go on a VR trip in is key. Having it just you're safe. You're in a it's nice. It would be nice.
I think that would also be that would be a good idea. Yeah,
And
we
also,
might start seeing them soon. Actually,
And also, like if you could pay, let's say, $25 to get into a place, where you could for 2 hours just sort of walk around and browse like everything that's the latest.
yeah,
Like you could use it, you could touch it, do whatever with it, you could try it out. See, the thing is that if you have a small place and only one of them, you will always find someone who is willing to pay whatever amount you ask, as long as they know about it.
It sucks that like film licensing is the way it is, and like theater licensing is the way it is. Otherwise, it'd be really awesome to rent out home theaters.
Dude,
Just like
yes.
like you could invite you and your friends, you each pitch in whatever, it's like probably like $20 probably.
Dude,
$10-20.
Isn't
And then
that
you get like a
why-
private viewing. You get a private viewing of like your favorite old film or whatever on Blu-ray or whatever on like a giant 4K TV or a projector even.
Dude, I'd love that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
But
some things like that, like an entertainment lounge, because there's no cyberpunk element to our adult entertainment anymore. Like I want actual adult entertainment, you know. That's two more for the puns list, by the way. 7.
God damn it. I would need you to explain.
Elaborate on that.
Yes, please elaborate on what you mean by adult entertainment.
I mean, I want to be entertained as an adult. Like I want to be 30 years old and play video games. What is wrong with this?
Oh,
That's what I mean.
That type of adult entertainment.
That's what I mean.
Am I supposed to put on another tally or not? I can't tell.
that one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. Okay, so just another chapter in VR experiences.
Yes.
That's good. I'm very excited. And how was the 3D painting? Does it like give you a new perspective on painting in general, or like did you just draw dicks in VR?
No, I just drew.
I remember
because people can see what you're doing from a screen, and then I really rather not.
Yeah. So what did you draw? What did you draw?
At first, I was just like trying out different paints, different environments, just making swirls here and there. Tried to draw a stick man, and that's when I realized in which I'm doing something different, because like the head, the body, the legs, they were all at I wouldn't say layers, but that's how my brain interpreted it, in which they're not on the same plane. They're all on separate parts because I'm drawing in 3D, which I'm not used to. People draw in 2D. That's just how it works.
Oh, I
see
what you mean.
It's not sculpting. It's literally painting the air, and
It just sits there, suspended in space.
It's a new experience.
Dude, people could make really deep paintings with that. Like,
Yeah.
you could just
Quite
build up
literally.
layers and layers. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I think it'll revolutionize art. It'll do everything.
Dude,
Yeah.
honestly, you haven't been there, so you're not a believer. What do you think, Max? Do you think it's going to revolutionize art?
Oh my fucking god.
I think it
it
will.
might. So now, instead of getting blank red squares, we'll get blank red cubes.
Dude, red rooms, red experiences, red sounds. Anyway,
That sounds.
also,
Huh?
damn, VR.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So exciting. Very exciting.
I mean, it's seriously hard to explain to someone who hasn't tried. In fact,
I'm on
the guy-
blind faith here. I trust you guys and like your opinions to be excited about it.
I mean, the guy at the setup said that it's really hard to explain how just normal and natural the VR feels to someone who isn't there, because, like, how do you explain seeing to someone who just sees? You just see, right?
Yeah,
you're
you
looking
can't.
at
It's like
something,
explaining. It's like trying to explain colors to a blind person.
It's like trying to explain VR to a blind person.
No,
That sounds
that's
so
not that way. It's
difficult.
just like
That sounds so
why
mean.
would you explain what sight is to someone who can see? Because that seems mundane. And if
Oh,
I
so
try to
it's like building reality again. It's like explaining reality to someone.
in a way, I mean, it is virtual reality, but just it feels so normal, and you cannot experience that. Yeah, I think you're right. You can't explain a new take on reality until that person has taken that new view of reality.
It's reality, but virtual. That's
Yeah,
how you should
I
explain
think
it to
virtual
them.
reality. I think the words virtual reality really do fit with VR goggles.
Nice. What was your best favorite moment at Genesis 3?
God, it's so hard. These were some of the absolute best matches, sports match for Melee, that I've ever seen in the competitive Smash. There Did I already mention there were a lot of upsets in which people beat others that they normally wouldn't?
No. What are some good upsets?
Um. Oh gosh, I can't really go in depth since you guys aren't following competitive Smash, but
I know the
like,
big guys. I know Mango, Mewtwo King, PPMD, Amrata,
yeah,
Hungry
let's
Box.
Okay, let's see. Mango, he has been pretty much sucking after he won Evo in 2014. Basically, what maybe getting second, usually getting fifth, eighth. Basically, not the god level he plays. But then Genesis 3, he almost got first place, and he was playing out of his mind. I have not ever seen a fox so skilled in my life. Well, I mean, that's only like, but so that was an upset, and also people who were not gods, people who were maybe within the top 20, top 15, but not the top 6, got into the top 8 finals for Melee. Similar things happened with Smash 4, in which like we had a few Japanese players. Like we had a villager in top 8, and that's a first. And
Woo, Villager. Animal Crossing Villager. That's gonna be my main.
Even though he got 4th or 3rd place in Smash 4, that villager Ranai, the Japanese guy, he was a people's champ for that. It was an amazing experience seeing these characters that are normally not top getting so high up.
I sincerely hope that Smash 4 like allows for more meta changes. Because I mean, in Melee, like the one thing I dislike about Melee is how static the meta is in terms of like basic character choices. I mean, you're choosing like out of the a couple dozen characters you could choose from in Melee, maybe 5 of those, six of those are like actually viable in competitive play. I really want to see more variety in Smash. So so that's what Smash 4 is for, I guess.
It seemed that the meta was starting to get stagnant in the West. By West, I mean Canada, United States, Mexico, and
Europe,
whatever, South America.
Oh,
and
okay.
and let's say Europe as well. Because for a long time, top characters were pretty much always Rosalina, Sheik, and Zero Suit Samus. A bit of this and that, but it was pretty much them. But then Japan shows up with Villager. I feel that Smash 4 might be turned on its head, and I am excited to see where that goes.
It's really interesting because I've noticed this in this is the second game I've noticed a change in a meta in terms of region, like based on region. Another example is League of Legends, where the Korean League players would actually like their main strength was farming creeps in League, whereas in like Europe and in the Americas it's different. So it's really interesting to see like region based metas and to see them like clash together and see who comes out on top, who has the more superior meta. I don't know. I just thought that was very interesting. Hopefully we see more of that. And I mean, it's doubtful we'll see any of that in Melee because that's kind of set in stone.
Pretty much, Melee, although Japan's meta is still a bit different.
Are they?
Pretty much a little bit, and a lot. They were very different in the early years, but now, yeah, as you said, the meta is pretty much international. Everything's set in stone. The game is pretty old now, so you can't really get much more in the changes in the meta.
Okay, cool. Guess that's Genesis 3, right? I don't know if they have anything else to add. Yeah.
I don't think I have much else to add. It was just extremely hype.
Cool. Good to hear. We're kind of low on news this week. I don't really want to focus on it because I mostly wanted to hear what you thought about Genesis 3 because we don't really cover Smash that much here over at the Data Break podcast. I enjoy hearing about it when I can though, so that's good. And of course, the VR news is always really fun to listen to. So last bit of news. This one's kind of frustrating to hear. I like as you guys may have been like if you guys been following me I picked up a Sony phone that I had to import from the UK a few months back, and this month Sony decided to release the phone in the US. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, I got my phone several months early, so that's fine. But the stupid thing is that they're not only changing the model number, they're actually stripping features off of the phone. So the US model of the phone I have will not have a fingerprint reader.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like those like, oh yeah, like I really have to wonder who's making those business decisions. It's like, oh yeah, let's bring a new phone to the United States. Let's not add features. Let's take away features to appeal to the Americans. It makes very little sense to me.
Are there other features that were removed?
That's the only one I know of, but it's a really big feature for this the Sony phone because I really like the fingerprint reader on this thing, and to take it away would be really bad. So I'm glad I imported my phone, but support is going to be weird, so I won't get US support on my phone. I'll have to get UK support and all that, and it's just dumb in general to release several different types of the same product. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't seem very efficient at all, in terms of distribution and manufacturing. And then of course it's going to impact sales because no one's going to want a phone without a fingerprint reader. I mean, that's kind of standard on flagship phones these days. And Sony is wondering why their mobile sales are so low in the United States. Well, this is why. Anyways, that's just a tidbit of frustration from this week that I had. That's about it though. I guess we'll keep this one really short. I don't know if Ravnestorm, do you have any cool bits of news that you want to talk about? Anything you heard of?
No.
No?
Unfortunately not.
Oh, shame. C'est dommage. That's fine. I believe
Tears.
There's no Counter-Strike news, I don't think. Not that I know of.
Oh yeah, I bought a new skin.
You bought a new skin? What did you buy? What did you buy?
I bought a StatTrak USPS Guardian.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I like that skin. And a StatTrak FAMAS Sergeant. I don't really like that skin, but it's I didn't have a FAMAS skin. But nice.
Yeah. They need better FAMAS skins.
Surfing the gold Nova waves now. It feels bad. Deranked so hard.
Yeah, I deranked a little bit too.
I'm still not best performer on my team consistently. They screwed up such big time, man. Every game is so unbalanced.
This is a good time for us to just like kind of ease into to like what we've been playing or whatever. So yeah, other than Counter-Strike, what else have you been playing, Ravenstorm?
I've been playing The Witcher 3 bit by bit. I'm enjoying the experience. It's a more role-playing game than I've ever really had, and I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Cool.
Are you playing it?
I am. Here's a funny thing. I bought it on the Steam sale, and then I decided I'm gonna play The Witcher 2 first. So I've been playing The Witcher 2.
Exactly. I noticed on my Steam notifications that it said you were playing The Witcher 2, and I thought that was curious because I had heard you mention you bought
The Witcher 3. Yeah, but no, I took a step back. I should not have bought The Witcher 3 in hindsight, but it's too late now, and it gave me motivation to finally get into The Witcher 2, which I'm actually quite liking. It still looks really good for its time.
I'm sure, man.
Yeah,
it's PC first.
Yeah, voice acting is a little bit iffy, and that's okay.
Does it run well on your computer?
It runs, yeah.
The Witcher 2 has some pretty high requirements?
It does, but if you disable the right settings, there's this feature called Uber sampling, which like makes the game look better, but it's just really performance intensive, and it doesn't look. I mean, it doesn't even make the game look that much better. It's not significant enough for me to turn it on. So I turned off Uber sampling, and the game runs 75, 80 FPS all day.
All right, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing my rig crushed by The Witcher 3. Funny tidbit though, like in one of the opening levels I was playing, I kind of wandered around and I saw this lady, and it was along a castle wall, so there's like a castle wall right next to this this bale of hay. And Geralt, the main character, he comes in and he says, they never learn. And then in the corner it says like new skill acquired, assassin. I thought that was just like a really funny jab at Assassin's Creed, like jumping into the hay bales.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. I'm enjoying it.
Geralt's voice gets me.
It's like just like really quiet and deep.
He's got the Batman voice, except it's more emo.
Yeah.
It's more emo, man.
I mean, the guy's named The Witcher, and then he's like his white hair. Like, what else he's gonna do? What else he's gonna do? Right?
The guy, at one point, I'm consoling this guy, but because he was beating his wife and he was being sad about it, and I chose an option that said like, "Buck up, man." And in game, the responses are slightly different than the text, which annoys me.
Yeah.
It's going to come out, and he's like, men like you look pathetic when they break down. And then the guy says, wow, you really are heartless. And then the girl's like, huh, the mutations worked. And I'm like, there's nothing more edgy than Geralt after he's been sassed by a wife beater.
Wasn't there like another a more extreme example, I believe, in the beginning of Witcher 2, in which like the text says like, nah, I don't like it, or I'd rather not, and what he says is just fuck you.
Yeah, no. This was in The Witcher 2. It was an interrogation scene, and it was like it's either like make a joke, or like, you know, it says something. It says affirmative, like yes, no, or like make a joke, and then like I said like make a joke because I was like doing like it was supposed to be something like it looked something kind of witty to say. So I was like, I'll say that, and he's just like. And then, like, he just comes up and just like, fuck you. And I'm like, wait, no, that's not what I wanted to say.
Exactly right.
It was really funny, though. It was still funny. It was still entertaining.
I wonder if The Witcher 3 has a mod that actually shows what you're going to say, like Fallout 4.
Like Fallout 4, yeah.
Yeah, that mod.
I'm sure there is, but I don't mind it, honestly. It's fine.
I mean, you might eventually come across a very important part in the story in which you may or may not want to know exactly what you're gonna say.
I can't imagine it being that confusing for you. Maybe though, maybe. Anything else you've been playing, Ravnestorm?
No, but I have been creating.
Yes, that's also something we cover. Yes.
Fantastic experience this week. I've just picked up Rails, the Rails part of Ruby on Rails, which is a web programming interface. It's a language, Ruby, and a framework, Rails. And this thing is like magic, dude. Like magic. I can type only a few words, like Rails generate, Rails new, name of my project, and it will create this entire template, this entire scaffolding of folders and files that I'm going to need. And I can just use the command line to generate what I need, route some things so that I can control the page, and then I can just generate content. It's really, really, really fantastic and really, really, really nuanced. I'm used to programming in C because I took that CS50 course.
Mm-hmm.
And Ruby is so much more sparse, and it uses white space, which means that the like things like tabs or indents are counted. Line breaks are part of the program. They're not just for show.
Right.
And that can be confusing at times, coming from a language where that doesn't really mean anything and you can kind of format it your own way. Ruby and Rails both encourage best practices when it comes to that. They prefer to have just do it the right way. Don't do it your way, do it the right way. I think that's kind of cool. But this means that we may have a sooner start on that addendum, like a real multiplayer blog, you know.
Yeah.
Like that might be within a couple weeks actually, instead of a month or so.
Well, we'll see, right?
Because Rails makes it easy.
Rails makes it easy. That's a good slogan.
Yep.
Let's split that check from Ruby for when you're done, right? Rails makes it easy.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you've been creating, or you talked about some binoculars before we started the podcast?
Oh yes, I found a pair of binoculars in a estate I was cleaning out earlier, and they're just what? Why would I mention this? Wait,
it's cool. It's something.
Podcast.
It's just cool. Yeah, it was before the podcast.
Oh yeah, no, I found a pair of binoculars that's like it's the size of a wallet. It's like a little card sized. Looks like one of those as seen on TV Illuma wallets. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But a little bit more old timey. And you can press the tab in the front and it pops open at like a 20-degree angle, and there are lenses that pop up that serve as the main focal lenses for a pair of mini 2x binoculars. Little all die-cast metal made in Japan thing. It's just kind of cool.
That's pretty awesome. And do you know what do you know when it was made, probably?
I don't, but I will ask.
Do you think it predates the 70s, 80s?
Probably.
Interesting. Very
No,
interesting.
actually not 70s. I think
like
it's got to be like 70s.
I still feel like it's gotta be, I don't know, maybe 80s. It has a because for some reason it reminds me of
Made
the
in
old
Japan.
Transformers cartoon, which was 80s.
The viewfinder from
maybe
Transformers.
weird time, but like it reminds me of that retro style.
I love like 80s like cyberpunk aesthetic and like Japanese like weird aesthetic. It's really interesting to me. Anyways, that's cool. Moving on. I guess I was talking about what I was playing earlier, so I guess I'll talk about that real quick. Just like I've been playing CS:GO like Ravnestorm has, and then Witcher 2. I've also been playing a lot of Shadowrun Hong Kong. Finally got back into that. There's a really interesting thing about these types of games where you have to make choices, especially the RPG type games, and even more so with RPG games where like you kind of create your own character. Because I mean, the process of creating your own character, depending on like the person, some people play RPGs differently. But I like to just like I try to accurately represent myself in an RPG. Well, not all the way, but like I will project a lot of myself into it.
Yeah.
So
you're not going to be like, what is his motivation, but rather, what is my motivation?
Right. Yeah. So it's interesting when you run into dialogue choices because sometimes you'll be hit with some pretty hard decisions, and you have to make hard decisions. And so by making those decisions, it kind of serves as like self-reflecting on yourself, if that makes sense. Someone just dropped a mic, I think.
Yeah, sounds like it. Ravenstorm?
Rest in peace, Ravenstorm's mic.
Hello.
Did you drop
hello.
your mic? Did you drop your mic?
No, it was TeamSpeak froze,
Oh, interesting.
and I had to unplug it and replug it in.
Ah, I see. Anyways, so like the idea of just like when you make those choices, it kind of serves as like a kind of like a simulator. Like, what would I do in this situation?
Mm-hmm.
And the consequences of that, it's like a reflection of yourself. It's like, this is what would happen if that actually happened, if you actually said that, or did this or made this choice. And it's an interesting exercise in self-reflection in general. Just like thinking about what you would do.
Dude, speaking of which, Witcher 3, I had an encounter where there were a couple of men fighting next to in the street, and I approached them, and they're like, "Hey, you know, when I entered this fight, and I'm sure I could take on either one of them. I'm totally sure I could win this. So I bet like 300 gold pieces on me to win. I would get 600 back if I won."
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this, and then this guy who I was supposed to fight came up to me, and he's like, I see, you know, the cut of your jib, you know, you're gonna slaughter me, you're gonna butcher me. That just can you let me win so I can win the sack of flour? And I was just like, oh shit. Like and in that moment I was like, I let him win. I actually did let him win, which is surprising.
How
I don't really know why, but I did. Just, I just
how
felt like that was
altruistic
the
of
right
you.
thing to do.
Very altruistic.
Because I can just take a potion and that'd be fine for, you know, days.
Sure.
Geralt doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to eat. He doesn't have to sleep. Just has to occasionally meditate.
And I suppose that layer of, you know, of separation helps with the decision making.
Yeah, but I was angry about the fact that I lost all my money. So I bet 4 coins on myself to win the next fight, the rematch with the same guy, and I beat the shit out of him. I wanted everyone to know.
So much for altruism.
No, it's still
No, it's still
that's what
altruistic. It's
Yeah,
just also it also happens to be capitalistic. It's a win-win.
No, dude, I wanted to show that no one can beat the hammer.
The hammer.
The hammer.
Gerald the Hammer. Next time on WWE.
That's actually what they called him in game. It was fun.
This Monday night.
But wait, but he uses 2 swords, not a hammer.
He's the hammer, damn it.
He
Geralt.
is the hammer.
The hammer.
Can you see him?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay, I'm not gonna go ahead with that old meme. It's Rhinus course. I've heard that some choices that God damn. You know, I've heard that some choices in The Witcher. I don't know if it's 3 or 2, but I've heard that a choice that you seem to think would have a positive impact, like save these people, can end up biting you later. As in, like, you see these people who are being discriminated or mistreated, or you just see them being picked on, and you save them. But later on, they become the villains of another quest, and
I think that's great
Maybe.
storytelling. I think that's great. That's
is.
the thing. And
Every single one of the quests has been sort of like emotionally captivating. It just takes like it takes even fetched quests to like a ridiculous level.
and I think that's just a product of good writing, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Which is yeah.
I'm
Go ahead,
glad
go ahead.
that the choices are not just good or bad, but actually weighing the impacts that each choice can make. That is not simply you do a good thing, you're a good guy. You do a bad thing, you're a bad guy. No, it's a lot more complicated.
It's refreshingly realistic. Because
It just
you know,
doesn't preach,
life isn't black and white, right?
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of gray, and I think that's something that should be tackled more in the video game medium. Yeah, I again, choices really I really like those games where the choices make a difference, and I'm glad that, and that's another reason why I play Shadowrun, is that every choice you make is like a ridiculous, like it's almost stressful because sometimes you go on missions and you have to pick which teammates you want to bring along, and sometimes if you pick the right teammate, you'll unlock more dialogue options, and you know you'll unlock more story and stuff with them, and you'll learn more about your characters. But you know you have to figure out which is the right character to choose.
Mm-hmm. Dude, it's fantastic. I think that like entertainment is just going to get more and more interactive. Like right now, Netflix is big. But
Sure.
Netflix is still 90% trash.
It's very
You
passive.
can't get away with making trash video games. Really.
No.
Well,
You know?
Yeah.
You can get away with making a trash movie, but no one will fund a trash video game.
That's true. That is true.
So, in the
Hell,
era
even if your
of-
game isn't trash, you could still, it'll still fail.
Yeah, because people expect 10 out of 10 for everything.
Yep. But that's fine because high expectations means I fulfilled expectations.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between expectations and hype, right? So
Yes.
that's
All about
not
that
confuse the two.
1950s jetpack hype.
Entitled 1950s Kickstarter backers.
Mm-hmm.
1950s Kickstarter.
They call those investors, by the way.
Yep.
And well, I mean, let's be clear. Kickstarting is not investing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't expect to get your money's worth with Kickstarter. It is a gamble.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's about it. Max, I know you've been busy this weekend, but anything special you've been playing, watching, producing, consuming recently?
Playing and watching, you already know with Genesis. Nothing really. I mean, I'm still thinking of what I should be producing, and I'm not gonna go ahead with that corn thing because I don't want to look sketchy buying a bunch of needles and corn and a variety of liquids because that just seems like a recipe for some really weird drug.
That's what Amazon's
sure?
for.
Are you sure?
I mean, it's America, Max. You could buy whatever you want. Well, you could actually
I just
buy.
need to get
You
my
can't
hands
buy
on
a
some
full
corn.
auto rifle in the United States.
You could, but you don't need that for dank corn memes.
Yeah, you can just
I'll inject a bullet into a corn, but not through a gun. I will inject it somehow through the tip of a needle.
through a silicon tube.
Yes, into corn.
Yes.
Yes,
And somehow it'll turn into a missile.
that sounds great.
Okay, so
What's
weapons
our-
of corn aside.
Okay, so
That's another one. Okay.
what's our tally at? What's our final tally at?
8.
8? Okay, all
I have
right.
7. I didn't count that last one because it wasn't a pun.
Well, I'm just gonna call it a pun.
Do it.
It's corn aside, so it's a
Do it.
fuck. Is that another one?
No,
No.
well, that's referencing
No.
the last one. You can't.
Then never mind.
That's
Okay,
clarification.
unintentional pun. Fantastic. At 8. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good ratio to be at. Is that it? I think we're good. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right.
I know I'm good.
Okay.
Mm.
I don't think I have anything else to say. Oh, I have unsuccessfully avoided a weekend where I don't buy Transistor merchandise.
Right.
This
Yeah.
morning, like I swear, like the first thing I did this morning was basically buy Transistor gear. Like I literally woke up, went on Twitter, found that they were selling a cool little figurine, and then I'm like, well, got no choice. Add to cart.
You're talking about the one that looks like an amiibo, right?
Yeah, it looks like an amiibo, which I kind of like. But yeah. Other than that, I think that's it. So I think it's about time we close out, though. Thank you for listening. This week's outro and every week's outro and intro provided to you by Grant Webster. His SoundCloud link is in the video description. He's actually been putting out a lot of beats out lately.
He's
so
on the beat.
he is on the beat. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scratching that one in.
Yep. And if you want to follow us, go ahead and follow us at Twitter. I'm at the James Lee, Ravenstorm at
Ravenstorm.
The Ravenstorm.
You can also spark a conversation with me at contact.ravenstorm@gmail.com.
Nice.
I'm inviting anyone and everyone to
Email correspondence.
Yes.
Pleasant, very pleasant.
take the time to write a letter to a guy named Ravenstorm.
Electronic letter. People don't write that many, other than for work purposes. People don't really write, like emails saying, "How are you doing?"
That's the advantage of it, man. It's like
Because you could just text them.
It's like
or,
vinyl, but it's better. 'Cause
It's like this. I think it's more like the CD, right? Where letters were vinyl, CDs are
Letters are like-
are emails, and then MP3s are like the messages.
Yeah.
Or streaming is the messages, maybe.
That makes
Interesting.
sense. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. With that interesting analogy out of the way, thank you for listening. On behalf of Ravnestorm, Max, and myself, we'll see you next time.
9 puns.
9.
Good job. We stayed under 10. That's amazing.